Carboxylic acid is an organic acid that contains a carboxyl group attached to an R group. Carboxylic acid structure. The general formula of a carboxylic acid is RCOOH, where COOH refers to the carboxyl group and R refers to the rest of the molecule to which this group is attached. In this carboxyl group, there exists a carbon which shares a double bond with an oxygen atom and a single bond with a hydroxyl group. In the nomenclature system of the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, the parent hydrocarbon is the one that corresponds to the longest continuous chain containing the carboxyl group. The E ending of the parent alkane is replaced by the suffix -oic and the word acid. The guidelines that must be followed in the UPAC nomenclature of carboxylic acids are as follows. The suffix "-e" in the name of the corresponding alkane is replaced with oic acid. A carboxylic acid is named by adding these prefixes and suffixes to the parent alkyl chain. Arabic numerals are used for indicating the positions of the carboxyl group. The name carboxylic acid or carboxy can also be assigned for a carboxyl substituent in a carbon chain. Example of naming carboxylic acid. So for this structure, the first thing you're gonna do is to count the longest chain. So we have a total of 6 carbons. 6 carbons is associated with the name hexane, but instead of calling it hexane, it is going to be called hexanoic acid. Another example is, what if we have an arene and a carboxylic acid? There are 6 carbons in arene, so it's a cyclohexanearene plus a carboxylic acid, so this is simply called cyclohexane carboxylic acid.
Ethers. Ethers are a class of organic compounds that contain an ether group, an oxygen atom connected to two alkyl or aryl groups. They have the general formula ROR. R and R represent the alkyl or aryl groups. There are 2 ways to name ethers. The most common way is to identify the alkyl groups on either side of the oxygen atom in alphabetical order, then write ether. For example, ethyl-methyl ether. The ether that has an ethyl group and a methyl group on either side of the oxygen atom. Ethers are similar in structure to alcohols, and both ethers and alcohols are similar in structure to water. At room temperature, ethers are pleasant-smelling, colorless liquids. Here's the examples of common names, IUPAC names, and structures of an ether. CH3O, CH2, CH3. What is the common name of this particular ether? So the first step, the methyl group on the left side and the ethyl group on the right side. Just like this, so we have 2 carbons on the right and 1 on the left side called methyl. And put this on together, so it's called ethyl-methyl ether. Therefore, this is the common name. What about the IUPAC name? So the longest structure with the longest chain is the 2 carbons on the left. We're gonna add this as substituent. The ethane is the parent chain of the 2 carbons on the left, so this is the carbon, 1-methoxy. Furthermore, it is called methoxyethane, so this is the IUPAC name for this particular ether. Let's try another example. Let's name this particular ether. On the right side, we have 2 carbons. On the left side, we have 4 carbons. So we have butyl group on the left and ethyl group on the right. So it's called butyl ethyl ether. Now that's the common name of this particular ether. What about the IUPAC name? So here's the longest chain and the substituent in this portion. OCH3 is known as methoxy as a substituent because it has only a methyl group. Here we have an ethyl group attached to it. So this is called ethoxy. Therefore, it is called 1-ethoxy and the parent name is butane because it has a 4 carbons, so the IUPAC name is 1-ethoxy butane. One last example. So first step, we have 2 ethyl group on both sides. So it is called diethyl ether. So that's the common name. Now, for the IUPAC name, we're gonna pick one side as a substituent. we're gonna write OCH2CH3. So once again, this is ethoxy and this one is carbon 1. So it's called ethoxyethane. So this is the UPAC name.
Ketone. A ketone is a compound containing a carbonyl functional group bridging two groups of atoms. The general formula for a ketone is Rc equal O R1, where R and R1 are alkyl or aryl groups. IUPAC ketone functional group names contain oxo or keto. Ketones are named by changing the negative E on the end of the parent alkane name to 1. In the other name, acetone is a ketone. The carbonyl group is connected to the alkane propane. Therefore, the IUPAC name for acetone will be propanone. This is the formula of ketone group and acetone looks like. The simplest ketone is acetone, R equal R1 equal methyl, with the formula CH3COCH3. Many ketones are of great importance in biology and industry. Examples include many sugars, ketoses, many steroids, testosterone, and the solvent acetone. The summary of ketone nomenclature rules. Ketones take their name from their parent alkane chains. The ending E is removed and replaced with 1. The common name for ketones are simply the substituent groups listed alphabetically plus ketone. Some simple ketones are known by their common names, such as propanone, which is commonly referred to as acetone. Examples of naming ketones. Propanone. Acetone, propanone, or dimethyl ketone is an organic compound with the formula CH3,2CO. It is the simplest and smallest ketone. Acetopenone. Acetopenone is a methyl ketone that is acetone in which one of the methyl groups has been replaced by a phenyl group. Benzophenone. Benzophenone is the organic compound with the formula C6GH5,2CO, generally abbreviated PH2CO. It is a white solid that is soluble in an organic solvent. Now, let's proceed to how to draw the structure for ketone. Examples: propanyl or propanoaldehyde. Propanoaldehyde or propanyl is the organic compound with the formula CH3CH2CHO. It is the 3-carbon aldehyde. It is a colorless, flammable liquid with a slightly fruity odor. It is produced on a large scale industrially. Butanal or butyraldehyde. Butyraldehyde, also known as butanal, is an organic compound with the formula CH3CH2,2CHO. This compound is the aldehyde derivative of butane. It is a colorless, flammable liquid with an unpleasant smell. It is miscible with most organic solvents. 3-pentanone or diethyl ketone. 3-pentanone, also known as diethyl ketone, is a simple, symmetrical thiacyl ketone. It is a colorless liquid ketone with an odor like that of acetone. It is soluble in about 25 parts water, but miscible with organic solvents. Lastly, the benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde, C6H5CHO, is an organic compound consisting of a benzene ring with a formyl substituent. It is the simplest aromatic aldehyde and one of the most industrially useful.